permit me to invite the GM of Kaduna Dry Port. Why it's important is that it's one of the people that have final approval. Yes, thank you very much.
All the regional areas of the country, I think they have approved about 6 then. But the investor talks maybe the government is going to build the dry port, not until the last minute when the president said, the former president said, no, you are a private sector, go and look for the farm and build it. You are investing. So since then, for almost 10 years about, those who are giving the license, they've not been able to do anything, although some are able to start, but it's about 10% or 20%. Not until the Kaduna state government will look at it that this is another opportunity with the strategic location of Kaduna, then talk to the Minister of Transportation, which they were told that it's only meant for the private sector, that is private investors. Then they contacted us, and based on that, then they gave us about 4 to 5 years to meet up with the requirements, because our regulators, Nigerian Shippers Council. So until today, we are the first dry port operating in the country. But we're having challenges when we started. But we thank God today, at least we have been able to achieve about 80% of our challenges. The only one that remains is the shipping company, like my Oga has rightly said, and the Nigerian Rail Corporation. Okay. Second, please, this is Kaduna Inland Dry Port. This is part of the equipment already positioned for this domestic export warehouse. We have 45 tons equipment plants, and we have 5 tons or 3 tons of forklifts. And this is the warehouse. This warehouse is about 4,000 cubic square meter that can, contain both the export goods and the groupage. We are using one room. One it's about 4. We are using one for groupage. And sorry, move forward. This is the terminal. This terminal is where all the import goods are being stacked. You can see the plants trying to load that container. In a day, we receive more than 30 to 40 containers every day. And this is the trailer park, and this trailer park can successfully contain about 80 trucks. Move forward. This is when the container being already examined by the custom, and they are going out, passing out from the port. In our port, we have about we have all the security agencies. Even the OC in charge of the port is deputy controller. In fact, the government or the Nigerian Custom Service have appointed a controller, but because we have international airports, so they have an office. But notwithstanding, they still deploy a deputy controller to man her. And custom, there are so many units. Evaluation units, enforcement unit, and so on. But the NAFDAC, about 2 years ago, NAFDAC opened Inspectorate Division. They call it North-Inspectorate Division, and it was opened by Professor Adishe. So we have full compliance of all the security agencies. Is it CIU? Is it SOL, SSS, NDLE? We have all the full agencies there who are operating. Move forward. This is the weighing bridge, and this weighing bridge is basically meant for export, because there's no how you can do export without knowing the weights, because the exporter will be able to know, if you know the weight, then you can know how much is going to be the proceed. And there is no how the importer, what I mean by importer in abroad, asking you to get so ginger for him, maybe about 25 tons. And we have experienced it it was not last year. All these suppliers, he came, he said he has 65 tons. But on weighing, we discovered it's about 42. And luckily for the exporter, he was so happy, because if there's no way, he will pay for 65, while what was supplied was 40, less than 45. So weighing is very, very important in exports. And in addition to that, there's no export goods that is leaving this country because of the vessel. Vessel must be able to calculate total weights. So in every export good, it should not be more than 25, 28. Particularly for those who are using 1/40. This is the rail line. The joy of Kaduna Inland Dry Port is that it's well connected with the rail line. There's a rail line coming from Lagos to Kano, and you can see the two side lanes. So we have a Kaduna railway station about few meters, but ours connected with the major line. So if we are having some goods coming from the south, that is from Lagos, what they need to do, they go to Kaduna station. Then from there, they will connect it with the side lane. You can see the two contain about 20 wagons. So we can receive about 40 containers from Lagos. And as well, use this empty to return export back. So you can see the synergy. And definitely it will now reduce the cost of doing business. Because for now, we all know from Lagos down to Kano is about 1 million. And taking export back is about 600 to 550. So if the rail is working perfectly, definitely they will pay less than half of it from Lagos, and going back will be half of it. So the easy way, the cost of doing business, it will be drastically reduced for the exporter and the importer. Move forward. These are administrative office for all the officers, that is, those who are those who are from Nigeria, custom services, NDLE, quarantine, and so on and so forth. And we have a bank, which is Zenith Bank there, that it should be one-stop shop. That you want to pay your duty, you can do it there. And we look at it that those who are at work, there must be a kind of an accident, or maybe a minor accident. So we have a sick bay, and we have well-equipped canteen restaurants for those who want to eat, maybe you are tired or whatever you want to rest. All those lines are meant for the people who are working with us or who are stakeholders. Next, this is our administrative office, and that is the OC gate. The officer in charge for any container coming in, they must key it in there. And in addition to this, what I wanted to point out again, I wanted to talk about the export procedure, because it's very, very important. And it's there that for an exporter to start a business of exporting to various countries, he must register with CAC and with Nigeria Export Promotion. It is very, very, particularly Nigeria Export Promotion, very, very important. And he must ask what we call export proceed account, dedicated account from the bank, which is dedicated for export proceeds. And an exporter must appoint an agent to consolidate the export commodity at Kaduna Inland Dry Port. I call it Kaduna Inland Dry Port through due center. It's very, very important. That is the name. And exporter must formalize business relationship with the buyer abroad and get a contract agreement. I want 2 containers of ginger, and the ginger, maybe is about 25 tons, that's about 50 tons. So it must be detailed. And getting that specification, then it will give it to the exporter will give it to the agent, that these are the things that he needs, because there's no how where an exporter can at the same time be an agent. because the Nigerian custom has already licensed. It's a professional job. We call them clearing agent, but it's a freight and forwarding agent. So it's still the same name. So a freight forwarder is the one that will deal with exports, and is the one that know what to do. And where an exporter just bring the goods, is this freight forwarder that will consolidate with KIDP deal center. So that's why we have 4,000 mega warehouse. And this warehouse is to consolidate, is to stuff and unstuff, and at the same time to store. Because apart from that, they can use it to aggregate labeling. That's why I said I don't need to repeat myself. All what it entails about the export, my big oga have said everything. So on this, the agent will now go ahead as soon as the exporter contacted the agent that please be my agent, represent my interest in doing the processes of this export. What he needs to do after getting the detailed document, he will not get in touch with the shipping company, because you need a box to use. And the joy of it is that KIDP deal center already have a box, because the import container that we have can be strangulated for export goods. So that depends on the agent to know which line he wants export, which line he wants to use for his or her export, and that is based on rates, because most of these shipping companies, they charge differently. Like Maersk Line is the leader in the industry, so they go straight to maybe going straight to China, where some other line maybe they will still be going through the West African country like Kaduna, collecting some export because they don't have a full content that they can take as a whole. Move forward, please.
Yes.
So I want to say more about this because it's very important. And then we need to process what we call, I said it, NSP. It's very, very important. It's online, where you are going to fill in the form, attach the NEPC certificate, the invoice, packing this, and submit to your agent, where it will now be given to the customs. Forward your NSP number to your forwarding agent for empty container booking. I've said that on completion of stuffing, because already they might be bringing the export goods bit by bit to consolidate in the warehouse. It is from there, after consolidation, they will call the custom, call the pre-inspection agent, quarantine, all the agencies, because it must be there. And that's why it is very, very important this time around than going to Lagos to do your export goods. They will do it there, and it will be signed. All the agencies will sign there, and the goods will be stuffed into the container. That means, and it will be sealed there. We've done it. It will be sealed there. So as soon as it's sealed, the custom now, because of, they are afraid, because Nigerians, they are still looking at it that anything can happen. So what they are asking now, any export we are taking, we must procure an escort, because it's already sealed. So nothing should be tampered. It should not be tampered in transit.